What's going on, guys? It's the Music Marketing Mafia coming back at you guys with episode 3. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the large umbrella of marketing, which is the whole basis of our channel. Although it is a little bit broad with some of the stuff we go into, it is all music related. Marketing is what I enjoy to do the most, and I believe I have the necessary skills to now pass on along to others. With that being said, today we're going to be talking about some ways that you are able to market your music in today's age with everything continuing to change with algorithms and platforms and what's popping and what's not. Let's dive into it. The first platform I want to talk about marketing-wise, which had a very big spike for a long time and is still definitely useful, but not as useful as before. I think everyone knows what I'm going to say, and it is TikTok. TikTok blew up a lot of artists. I had some successful videos myself. I got a lot of fans from that. It's done really, really amazing wonders for some, but it's a little bit saturated now. You still have to be consistent on it. You have to post a lot. And artists are just running into the problem of not being able to make content that much and that often. The algorithm, although some people have claimed to have cracked it, is all over the place, to be honest with you. There are random videos that blow up, and there's ones that you spend hours and hours and hours that do nothing. There's not a whole large rhyme or reason for it, depending upon. Obviously, followers and engagement rate and stuff always plays a factor, but there's still just the luck of the draw with some of them, which is kind of crazy to me that nobody's 100% been able to figure it out yet. With that being said, the next thing I want to talk about is ads. Ads have been a big ticket item for a lot of people for a long time. Facebook ads, Instagram, Google, YouTube. I've had a lot of success with ads. I would actually say I've had more success with these platforms than I have with TikTok, mainly because you are able to, you actually have to spend money in this case, which depending on who you are as an artist, sometimes isn't doable for you in that time, but you're able to target more. You can then retarget those same people. You can choose your ads. You can choose where you're putting the ads. You can choose your demographics and who's it's going to be shown to. And I just think you have a little bit more control over how your campaigns are going to run in this sense, because TikTok, like I said, it's kind of just a luck of the draw, and you never really know exactly what you're going to get out of it. Ads are a little bit frustrating to get started. I've always had struggles getting them started, but once they get going, you can get some really amazing results from them. I have a little company we're starting up that we will be doing some ads for. So if you guys are interested in having us run your ad campaign for you, feel free to email. We can give you kind of the early beta launch before we launch in 2025. The next thing I want to talk about, which I talked about in my last video, or not video, but little podcast episode, is playlisting. Playlisting, I still think, is very beneficial. Your song can snowball because people can just keep adding it to different playlists, and it's an easy way to get put in front of people who would not have seen you otherwise until they were on that playlist. There's a lot of fake streams out there. I mean, that's not really playlisting's fault. That's more the DSP's fault in general. But it's still very, very beneficial, and the more you're seen in Spotify's algorithm, the more they are going to put you in Release Radar, Discover Weekly, their algorithmic playlist, which is really kind of the biggest kicker on Spotify. When you start getting in good with their algorithm, they are going to absolutely push you, and you're going to discover a ton of new fans because of that. So I can't stress enough how important the algorithm is. The next thing I want to talk about is something that in a way is a little bit more dying than others, but I've also seen like a resurge. It's a little bit weird, and that would be blogs and websites. There's still a lot of really good blogs and websites out there. Like I talked about in my last episode, and I am going to touch on it again here, everything's very money oriented now, which is a little bit upsetting. These blogs and websites aren't really doing it for the love of the music. Some are. I'm not saying all of them. Same with the playlisting. But I would say a good portion of any good promo is behind a paywall now, which it's the way life is. I mean, you have to pay for what you're getting. But it's very, very difficult to grow organically without a little bit of luck and some connections. So you really got to make sure that you're allocating your budget to what you believe is going to be the best marketing strategy for you as a musician. The problem I think a lot of artists run into is that there's so many different things out there, and I'm even a victim of this as well. There's so many different ways that you can market your music and yourself that sometimes it's tough, and you get caught up, and you don't know exactly what to do. There's too many avenues. So what I try to recommend to people that I talk to from this channel and just other artists in general is try to stick with one and scale up. Try to start with Facebook ads and then move on to playlisting. Then you can move on to blogs. Try to master one, or at least getting good with one, before you start putting your hand in a bunch of different cookie jars. That way you're able to have more control over your results. You know where your results are coming from. It's a really, really big problem. If you don't know where your results are coming from, you don't know how much you're spending to get X amount of streams. So I really, really highly recommend you starting with one and scaling up. You can always, always, always scale up. It's a lot harder when you have a bunch of stuff running to stop them and try to figure out where the streams are coming from. Whereas to grow, then you kind of know, all right, my Facebook ads are good for X amount of streams. And then you can kind of work backwards from there. So that wraps up the marketing episode for today. I'll probably start making these a little bit longer as we go, but I kind of wanted to just touch on some of the main points that I'm going to be breaking down a lot further in this series. I really like it so far. I think there's some good information. Just trying to sort out exactly how I want to present all this information to you guys. So as always, if you have other questions or comments, I respond to all of them. Feel free to email us. I'll put that in the description below, or drop a comment. I will start answering some questions that I get on these episodes for you guys. So I hope you guys found this useful, and we will talk soon.